Welcome. In this presentation, we'll explore an essential aspect of conscious communication, distinguishing between requests and demands. Understanding this difference supports us in fostering genuine connection and collaboration. Marshall Rosenberg identifies two crucial communication pitfalls. First, we often mask our needs behind judgments. Second, even when we name our needs, we frequently fail to follow through with a clear, actionable request. Requests are invitations. They communicate our desires while fully respecting the freedom and the autonomy of others. Requests are rooted in a genuine openness to hear and honor a no. Demands, on the other hand, carry implicit threats, subtle or overt. They restrict freedom and can trigger either resistance or reluctant compliance. It's much more difficult to achieve authentic connection and reliable compliance via cooperation driven by demands. That doesn't mean that demands are bad. There is definitely a time and a place for demands. What's important is just to recognize the difference between a request and a demand. Marshall Rosenberg clearly states the essential distinction between requests and demands. Openness to receiving a no defines a request, while a demand rejects the possibility of genuine refusal. This openness significantly impacts the quality of relationships and dialogue. To discern if you're making a request or a demand, reflect honestly on your intentions. Are you genuinely prepared to accept no without judgment or retribution? Are you aiming to control or to collaborate? Again, it's not that requests are better. It's just important to understand the results of requests and to understand whether you are making a request or whether you're making a demand so that you can be clear in your communication. So let's practice this scenario. Is this a request or a demand? Would you be willing to cover my shift? Is that a request or a demand? It's a trick question. There's no way of knowing whether this is a request or demand just by hearing the words. Only the speaker truly knows. And even they might not know if they haven't connected fully with their intention. The clearest sign will come in the response to a no. If the speaker receives it with grace and understanding, then they have made a request. If they respond with anger, guilt tripping, or judgment, then this question was a demand in disguise. To shift from demands to requests, clearly state your need and share your authentic feelings. Ask respectfully, making clear that you are open to hearing a no. This fosters trust and respect in relationships. So make sure you only request what you're willing to receive a no for and prepare to receive a no. Check in. What's it going to be like if I receive a no? If you're not open to a no, then you're going to want to either be clear that you're making a demand, or you might ask yourself, what can I ask for that I'm open to receiving a no for? So make sure you're clear that you're asking for action, but without any coercion, and affirm your willingness to hear a no, because it is so often that we hear requests that are actually demands, that often when we hear a request, we're on the alert, and we our fear might be triggered with this kind of this distrust. Is this actually a request or is this actually a demand? What's going to happen if I say no? Supporting others and helping you often means going beyond that surface yes. Ask the person what kind of support would help you follow through with your yes. And if this person is hesitating with their yes, help them find their yes by asking what can you say yes to, or help them feel safe in saying no. This empowers authenticity, it supports connection, and it also increases the chances of a successful follow through. Often, when I have made a request and I get a yes, I'll ask that person, are you giving me a hell yes or a kind of a yeah, okay, if I have to? Where are you in your yes? And I'll let them know. I really want a hell yes for this. If this isn't a hell yes for you, then let's figure out something that would be. Sometimes I'm okay with a if I have to, yes, I will. And in that case, I'm really going to ask that person, okay, so this really is important to me. I'm glad I got a yes. I get that it's you're kind of like, so what is it that we could do to make this easier for you and to help you follow through with this or to make it more wonderful for you? If a demand is necessary, and sometimes they are, in particular for safety, for structure, for accountability, clarity and compassion are crucial. So make sure that you share the needs and the reasoning behind your demand, behind your decision to make this a demand. Let the other person know what they can expect from you and what you are expecting from them and what the consequences are to the no or if they don't follow through. Make sure you create a space for them to respond and share how they're impacted. So demands may be necessary. If I'm imagining a child running out into the road, I need to use force and demand physically that they come back and out of the road. So I will pick them up and I'll use my body to make a demand and I will bring them back to the sidewalk. That was necessary. It was not a time to say to this child, "Are you willing to come back onto the sidewalk?" No, that's not okay. I have to get them up and by force bring them back. And it's important to recognize once that crisis is over, once that demand has been made and executed, there will likely be consequences. That person probably had some experience of harm because that's just what it's like, even when it's for our own good, when we are forced to do something or coerced into do something, it doesn't feel great, even if it's for our own good. So that's when it's really important to give a person the opportunity to express how this is impacting them and what their concerns are. So if you're thinking about, let's say, at the workplace, this is your expectation. You must get this job done at this time and in this way. And then we want to make sure that we check in with them. Do you have any concerns about that? Are you needing any support? What's it like for you to know that this has to be done? Otherwise, you might lose your job. And just giving that opportunity for the person to express themselves, it doesn't mean you need to act on that expression other than saying, I get it. I get it. I get it. You might, knowing that you might lose your job if you can't follow through on this, I get that that's stressful. And I'm here knowing that I'm here with you. And thank you for doing this hard thing. So, when possible, making requests, figuring out how we can help somebody enter into whatever it is they're doing with this willingness, with this yes, has so many benefits. This helps foster mutual respect and trust. This will enhance cooperation and genuine connection, and it empowers others and it promotes autonomy. It also gives you a better chance of being able to trust that this person is going to be able to follow through with what it is that they're doing, especially if you've checked with them about what kind of support they might need. So important to remember with requests and demands that one is not good, one is not bad. Requests are not inherently good. Demands are not inherently bad. What matters is clarity. And what matters is when you mask a demand as a request, that can create tremendous confusion and it breaks trust. Instead, aim to make clear, open requests And when a demand is needed or wanted, own it with transparency and care. As we close, let's reflect on Marshall Rosenberg's words. When we make requests rather than demands, we create the conditions for dialogue, partnership, and shared solutions. Each interaction offers an opportunity. How might you more intentionally shift demands to requests in your daily interactions to build more meaningful connections? And how might you become more aware of the demands that you're making but masking as requests and become more clear about whether you are making a request or a demand? Reach out if you have any questions. Consider how this can impact you and how you can use this in your workplace and in your home, in your life.